Have you ever asked yourself this question? Can humans find meaning in life, even in extreme suffering? The book we will explore today, Viktor Frankl's Man's Search for Meaning, is a journey to find answers to this question. This book contains the harrowing experiences of Viktor Frankl, a psychiatrist and psychologist during his time in the Auschwitz concentration camp during World War II, as well as the insights he gained about the meaning of life. It is not just a simple war record or a survival story, but a profound account that shows how humans can find reasons to live, even in the depths of despair. When Frankl was taken to the Auschwitz concentration camp, he experienced his life collapsing overnight. His name was erased. His dignity as a human being was brutally trampled, and he lost everything: family, property, and academic achievements. When he arrived at the camp, his bag containing the manuscript of his lifelong research was confiscated. To him, that manuscript was not just a piece of paper, but his very life itself. As he watched the manuscript disappear, he thought to himself, "Now I am nothing," surviving in that place, where death was a daily encounter, was not merely a matter of physical survival, but a question of mental significance. He observed in the camp, even though they were in the same extreme situation, some people ultimately gave up on life and collapsed, while others held on to hope and persevered. What made the difference was the meaning of life. The reason humans must live is the conviction that there is something waiting for me, which has become the strength of survival. For example, a man that Frankl met endured each day, thinking only of reuniting with his son. Another colleague endured hunger and cold, with a sense of mission to complete his final research. Their gaze was different. It wasn't buried in the pain of living today, but shone with a firm hope for the future. Frankl himself was no different. He secretly gave lectures in a cold and cramped barracks every night, even if it was just for a few minutes. He tried to confirm his worth by sharing academic knowledge with his colleagues and giving them hope. He thought this way: I must share this experience with the world someday. I must testify how one can find meaning in life, even when everything is taken away. This sense of mission was the force that kept him going. Based on these experiences, Frankl established a unique psychological therapy theory called Logotherapy. He says that the most essential force that moves humans is not pleasure or power, but rather the will toward the meaning of life. So, how can we find meaning? Frankl presents three paths. First, we can find meaning through the experience of creating or achieving something. When we create art, achieve results through work, or do something that helps someone else, we discover our own reasons for living. It doesn't have to be something grand or magnificent. Even if it's a small thing, the fact that I left a positive mark on the world is meaningful. Secondly, we find meaning through loving someone and having deep relationships. Frankl confesses that he was able to endure by thinking of his wife. In the concentration camp, although he couldn't be physically present, just imagining the existence of his loved one allowed him to find the reason for his life. In the end, love was the deepest and purest source of meaning that a human can experience. Thirdly, in our attitude towards unavoidable pain, we find meaning. Suffering is an unavoidable reality in life. However, how we accept suffering, and the attitude we adopt in facing it ultimately determines its meaning. Even the suffering in concentration camps could acquire new value through the attitude of humans, striving to maintain dignity and worth. It is not the pain itself, but our attitude towards the pain that creates meaning. Ultimately, the message that Frankl conveys is clear. Humans can find meaning in life in any situation. Even in the concentration camps where everything was taken away, there remained a final freedom, which is the freedom to choose one's attitude toward life. We often think that our lives are determined by external environments or conditions. However, Frankl says, the meaning of life is not given by the situation, but depends on how I respond to it. This perspective is the reason we should read this book today, and it still resonates with the hearts of many people. Finally, the reflections we can gain from this book do not simply end with historical records of the past. In modern society, we each live in different realities that are like our own prisons. Competition, failure, loss, illness, anxiety. However, if we can change our questions within that, life changes. Instead of asking, why did this happen to me? When we change the question to what meaning can I find in this situation? We become agents rather than victims. What meaning are you holding on to right now? If life feels heavy, I hope you can discover a new perspective on life through Frankl's story. The book, Man's Search for Meaning, shows how humans can maintain dignity and hope, even in the most extreme despair. And it whispers to all of us, life always holds meaning if we just discover it. Wrapping up, I would like to ask you this question. If today were the last day of your life, how would you live your day? It is within this question that the meaning for each of us will begin. Thank you. If you liked today's content, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe. Please turn on notifications. Also, please let those around you know. Your encouragement is a great help in making the videos. I will always repay you with good videos.